Support Laneside. Get something cool. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the drill room. As always, I am the Bearded Beast, a little covered up incognito tonight, and we are going to be doing our very first watch-along. See my gigantic headphones in there. It's cold in the mall, in my my mall location where my store is, where my shop is. So I got my head covered up because I lose a lot of heat out of the top of that. So I wanted to welcome everyone to the drill room. This is the show that is about you, the viewer. We try to answer your questions, give you tips, and interact with you better than what we could just by answering your messages. Text is so impersonal. We'd like to better be able to answer your questions for you. Once again, you can reach us always on social media. If you go to lanesidereviews@live.com, that's our email address. lanesidereviews.com will take you to our Facebook. Check out social media, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, obviously, and now on Reddit. Just look up Laneside Reviews or TEAMLSR or r/LanesideReviews. And you can put your comments, questions, Pro Shop Horror Stories, anything you'd like there. So tonight we're going to be having some fun. We're doing the watch-along for the Scorpion Championships. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of a delay between FS1 and us. I'm watching on Flow Bowling. So it should be interesting to see what the rollover time-wise is between us. Mine's saying round of 16 match play next, but yeah, there's supposed to be a show going on right now. Yeah, right now. Right now! I don't know what's going on. But like I said, there's always a little bit of a rollover in between there. There's usually like 2 or 3 minutes in between. So while we're doing that, we have huge news. I guess we can get right into it while we're waiting for the show to start. Huge news out of the USBC this week with the Storm Spectre no longer being legal to be used in any sanctioned play. So this means your leagues, tournaments, national championships, if it's a USBC sanctioned or use USBC sanctioning rules, the Storm Spectre is out. Now, if you haven't seen the story, it is on USBC's on Bull.com's website. But I'll just go through the kind of the big points for it. The USBC has revoked approval of the Storm Spectre bowling ball and removed it from the list of balls approved for USBC competition, effective March 14th. So that was yesterday. The day they put it out, they were like, done. Now, the revocation comes after USBC determined through its spot checking procedure that a significant percentage of the bowling balls produced do not comply with specification requirements outlined in the USBC equipment specifications and certification manual. Basically, they didn't meet the 73 durometer hardness minimum. And you gotta think, this has only been approved for competition since the 21st of December. So this ball is really, really new. Now, here's the interesting part here. Now, ball approval can be revoked if the process capability shows that the model has a greater than 5% defect, so 50,000 out of a million. The Storm Spectre indicated a defect rate of 98.6%. 98.6%. Now, if you sit down and do a little bit of mathematics on that, that means that on every, I think it was 500 balls or 5,000 balls. Let's do some math here. I said I was going to do it. 1.4% times 5,000 balls Because we would say a regular run of equipment would be around 5,000 pieces. You'd say on the high side. That would be only 70 balls met specifications. Now, I don't want to start any rumors or anything. I have no idea about this. But how many balls get sent to the USBC for approval? 50? 70? 100? Are they telling us that the only balls that met approval were the ones that were set them originally, and everything else? Are they saying that they were able to track back whatever this mistake that caused this problem, and they know exactly how many, like where it started and how many they put out? Because that's a pretty specific number, 98.6. Like that's the kind of number you either pull out of your butt or they have defined numbers for. So USBC tested balls from multiple batches, and the non-conformance was not limited to any specific batch. So Storm was placed on probation for 1 year and fined $8,000. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now Storm has come out and said that they're aware of it and they're coming up with a program. They're not sure what they're gonna do yet. They could appeal it. But this is very, very interesting, especially right before the championships opens up. That's some significant pieces coming out. Probation means that if they do it again, they could potentially lose their opportunity to have balls sanctioned from the USBC. They could have all of their equipment lose sanctioning. They could get fined more. Honestly, it's up to the USBC. I don't know if there's a set out guideline for multiple infractions. Obviously, there must be because they're finding them and doing this. But yeah, integrity. No, I would not actually say that. This sounds like, to me, after the ball got approved, something happened either with the chemicals that were being sent to them to create their cover stocks, or something happened in the process of creating their cover stocks and something else was added or something went wrong that did this. I don't think that Storm did this on purpose. Honestly, that would be silly of them to do anything like that. Like, let's be really honest. They're a huge company. Why would they risk? Why would they risk that kind of thing? So we've got the World Series started here. We've got Jason and EJ in the first match just starting. My feed's just a little bit behind. My apologies, guys. So we can talk more about this stuff while the tournament's on, while we're watching this together. Unfortunately, we can't share the feed. That would get us in a lot of trouble. But oh, these headphones are killing me. There we go. That's better. My head doesn't look so big now. Oh, opened by EJ. Now this pattern is fairly slick. Wow. Fairly slick, and yet they are playing very deep already. EJ is already lofting the gutter. Now, EJ had a really interesting story this week. Now, he lost to Tommy Jones and ended up being the... Oh! Rolls a big strike. Weak hit, rolls a big strike. Tackett actually lost to Tommy Jones, but qualified 5th. He definitely had that tough tough block, I believe it was yesterday, when he had the double gutter. Jason up 14. It was really interesting because they talk about, you have to let it go. On a pattern like that, EJ had 8 gutters over the week going into it, and he had, I think, 7 of them on that pattern. High risk, high reward, and yet he came back and made the show the next day. Like, he didn't give up. He's not letting it get to him. It shows his mental toughness. So yeah, EJ being the lowest qualifier, he was the highest of the losers, for lack of a better term. And Belmont with the open frame. Okay. Nobody wants to win this match. So Scorpion pattern, we're looking at 42 feet. They're relatively slick, but there's a it looks fairly flat down lane once it gets to the break point. So there's a lot of free friction there. We know where that defined friction point is. And they're able to move inside, project the ball down lane through it, and get the maximum. Well, EJ is going for the maximum entry angle to try to get the widest pocket. Jason's playing it a little bit closer. Now, Jason beat Kyle Troop and then Chris Vi, who had beaten Chris Prather. And it doesn't look like anybody's really comfortable. I don't want to say nobody can hit the broadside of a barn, but it looks like they're struggling with this pattern. And it's interesting because EJ had said something about this lane plays differently. And you can definitely see that they're both having that issue, that they're really playing quite differently. Now, we don't know if this is topography or if this is what's developed through lane time, like going in through practice as they've broken them down. This is the first match, so you would think that they'd still be pretty decently flat still. Oh, there we go. EJ's throwing that new coral venom, it looks like. It looks kind of like... maybe he made a ball change. I know the shot before... No, there we go, yeah. Oh, no, that's a regular venom shock, looks like he's throwing. Just it's phased, interestingly. No, blue coral, all right. It's a very pretty purling on it. Oh! Come on. EJ is destroying the pocket and leaves it that 9. Yeah. So did any of you... Yeah, it sucks. Did any of you get to see the show last night? Kyle Sherman winning his first full title. Now he's got 1.5 titles. It was really great to see him win last night. Very interesting bowling. A lot of roll-offs. Even though the pattern is generally high scoring, it seemed like the guys struggled lots. Oh my God. That's a poop-eating grin right there. As Belmo folds the rack forward. Dead Polymer, RIP Spectre, only had yours for maybe 10 games. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. That's awful. Well, hopefully, I'm pretty sure Storm is going to take care of everybody who had one. It does look phased. It really does. The coral venom looks phased. It's really neat. It's really nice looking cover stock. But as I was saying last night, it seemed like the guys were definitely struggling on the championship pair. The scoring pace was much higher in the tournament than the championship pair. And seeing these guys tonight and listening to them, yeah, they're trying to figure it out. They don't understand why they're playing like this. Oh, just folds. I think it was a 2-pin forward or a head pin forward. That's awful. So yeah, and I think we can see that really easily that they're seeing a different lane pattern just from looking at the championship match last night and looking at what we've seen already so far in this opening match. Christian Ascona, everybody was throwing a lot of urethane last night, and that right lane we've seen all week has played a little bit longer than the left lane. And it really showed up last night as the urethane started to track down, as we saw the heads start to blow up and the oil get pulled down lane. You could see that Christian really lost his reaction. You could see the ball would start to turn the corner and then never really make it. So it was either burning up in the heads or it was getting too tight down lane. Now watching Kyle, Kyle was getting it down pretty early, but it looked like he was getting it a little bit outside of him. There might have been a little bit more oil outside to hold it. So I'm wondering if it was burning up too much. Either way, I mean, he had the left lane perfectly, but just couldn't get it to corner. Just couldn't get it. And he was in a tough spot because we'd seen Kyle try to throw a reactive ball, and we watched how it overreacted as it got down lane. They certainly hadn't blended out in a way that they could move into something stronger and kind of wheel the lane, and it forced everyone to stay in urethane much, much longer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. We've already seen EJ and Belmont have trouble on that right lane getting the ball to really finish well to the head pin. Like it somewhat gets there, but it's so late it's getting behind the head pin. I hate commercials. Excited for the Shark Championship. My guy D-Tang right there in the bracket. Yeah, heck yeah. That's going to be a good one tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see. It's been nice watching these brackets the day of, getting guys bowling their brackets all the way to the TV show. We've had a couple of 6 seeds who've ended up making the show, which has been nice. We've had some real drama during the day. It's made having flow bowling actually worthwhile because I could watch this stuff going into tonight. And now there's what? There was a bear on the TV, and then a woman jumped backwards out of a gate and then went flying into Mario Lopez. I don't know what's going on, but this is some trippy stuff. Some trippy stuff. I'm looking forward to watching D-Tang as well. One of the cool things with Kyle and D-Tang and a lot of these guys, Packy making the show, is we're getting a lot of behind the scenes from everyone. We're getting to see some of the practice during the show, before the show. We're getting to see some of the bracket competition. We're getting to see what the pros are truly going through to bowl this event. I mean, you think they bowled 54 games through the entire event, through the World Championship. But for some of these players, they might have only seen 10 games on a pattern and then had to jump back into it days later. So it'll be really interesting to see how things go. Oh, they're showing the signs in the crowd again. Where was that when Scoops and I had all the great signs in the background? I mean, we had the original Diva Scoops, or the Hambone Zone, and oh yeah, we had the Goat Farmers of America, GOAT for Walter Ray. I miss that. I hope that they go back to Thunder Bowl again. I don't know if they will. It was such a it was a good and yet bad place for events. I love watching D-Tang's YouTube videos because he's so apologetically honest. Oh yeah, absolutely. If he sucks, he says he sucks. It's very rare that a bowler will come out and be like, yeah, I blew chunks all week. Oh. If you're watching, they're showing how EJ creates the power in his game. Showing how his elbow gets bent and how the whole thing uncoils together. There's that right lane again. 2-8-10s. And that's it. Randy just said he went identical. He hit the exact same boards where he struck. And he 2-8-10s on it. Oh, no, sorry, this is the left lane. Good heavens. Come on. Oh, almost gets the 2-8-10. So, okay, sorry. The 9-pin that he left on the right lane, he threw the exact same shot on the left lane, and it didn't get to the pocket. So that will also tell you the huge difference between the two lanes. So there's almost a zone difference, it looks like, between the two of them. I'm very curious why EJ hasn't made a ball change. Throw one ball on one lane and one on the other. Oh, then that's why you throw two-handed. Messengers. I'm here for the messengers. I'm very surprised he hasn't made a change. Belmo he got a late hit messenger on that lane. So, I mean, it wasn't a great hit. He got the ball to the pocket, but it was still really behind the head pin. It went in front of the 2-pin and then came back and got the 10. So he himself knows that's not a good hit, even though he struck. So now he's moved to the left lane. And he's made a change on the left lane. So he's much more flush. He made... looks like a 2-1 zone change, a 2-1 move on the left lane compared to the right lane. There we go, another light hit. Tackett strikes on that one, but it's still a light hit. I'm not really a fan of what I'm seeing in his ball reaction here, I gotta be honest. On that, I mean, he went 9-pin on that lane, and then this one barely gets back to the pocket again. This is another really late hit. They need a Pink Widow. Yep. Yeah, that one he stood at the same place, and you could see that one belly out, and it got there late, and he's got a nice wide pocket. He's getting a pretty good mix, but we've seen when he misses it by even a little bit, he's 2-8-10ing. So this is very interesting. Like I said, I'm not a fan of that line that Tackett's playing, and that might be why Belmo's got a 25-pin lead. Messengers are fun to watch, but in my opinion, not be an expectation. No, you're right. Super Blitz, you're 100% right. Messengers are lucky bonuses. Most of the time, if you get a strong messenger like that, you've actually had a bad hit because the head pins hit the sidewall with a lot of energy, which means it's missed your 2-pin. You don't see a lot of them where they actually hit the pins and then come back. They're usually, light hit sidewalls. So you should never expect messengers, except unless you're a two-hander. In case for some reason their ability to create rotation allows them to create entry angles that one-handers just can't, or haven't been able to yet. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who can do it, but not people who can do it. Oh, they're going for. I missed the ham bone. Oh my, what was that? Scraps to Pabst with folding in the big four. Through the nose. And he immediately asked for a ball change. See, this is what I said. He's got the match won. I swear that logo almost looked like an El Nino for a second there. I liked that ball much better. He made a 6-board left move, same zone down lane. I liked the way it went through the pins a lot better. Look at that short hook zone. It exited the deck much better than what he threw the last one. There's Tacky. You can see that ball deflect. It went right out over the 9 pins. So what can you do, right? What can you do? I didn't like his ball reaction. I think it's a UFO alert. Yeah, that's what it's in his hand. But Belmont made the move to the UFO alert. So many standing 10s by power players. Get so many messengers to take him out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you watch a lot of two-handers, and I'm talking house two-handers, a lot of them have extreme, like 80 to 90 degree rotation. So they can create 8 degrees of entry angle and get the pins to do silly things. If your ball hits the pocket flush, you shouldn't get a messenger. Your head pin shouldn't come off like a rocket messenger. It can get knocked back on, but you shouldn't really see a rocket messenger off of a flush hit. Ooh, TJ's up next. Thomas Jones. Who would call him Thomas Jones? Rob Stone. Come on. So there we go. We've got Belmo over EJ Tackett pretty convincingly there. And he's going against Tommy Jones. Now, Tommy's route, he went through Jesper and the Urethane Express and was actually beat EJ Tackett in the brackets. So we've got 2 people who've beat EJ now facing off. So this should be pretty good. Tommy has had, I would say the last 2 years, Tommy's had a bit of a career resurgence. You think Belmo was off the tour and Brunswick took over Ebonite, and Tommy, right around then, Tommy went into the Hall of Fame and threw his 300. And he's just seemed to be rolling and rolling and rolling. It's really good to see. Tommy, kind of soft-spoken, but a super nice guy. If you guys didn't see it, we have a graphic. We got a Hambone graphic. Hambone! That was horrifying. I thought I'd add something to it. I couldn't get a 6-pack Pabst one up in time, but that way I could share a little bit. And then later we've got Packy Hanrahan coming up, and Anthony Simonson. Boy, this is a really stacked show. Good Lord. Like, you've got Belmo, Simo, Tackett, Jones. So you've got 1 Hall of Famer, 3 future Hall of Famers, and a hot rookie. That's a tough step ladder. I would love to see Tommy Jones win it. I'd like to see Packy win it. I think that what the House and Brad and Kyle and D-Tang, all those guys are doing a ton for the tour right now. While the tour is spending their money advertising through Fox and on TV, trying to bring in some of those lapsed fans that might watch wrestling or watch NASCAR, what have you. These guys online are really creating excitement for the Pro Tour again. And they're bringing a lot of people out to watch. It would be nice to see Packy win because of how much work he puts in. Once again, we'd get a lot of look behind the scenes. These guys online, it'd be nice to see them win because we get more of that. We could hear more thought process. But then again, I mean, Anthony Simonson's a great guy. Like, he has some anger issues. People have brought those up before. But he has always been very nice to me. Jace, I mean, if you've looked at our Facebook, if you've looked at my Facebook, Jace and I have hung out many a time. He is probably one of the, like, not nicest bowling people, but just one of the nicest, genuine people I've met in a while. Like, just a really nice guy. But then I got to root against him because I'm a Brunswick guy. You know, it's so tough. But he is. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Tommy Jones, like I said, he's soft-spoken, but still a very nice guy. He's never been rude to me. Always been very nice. But now, mind you, I've never approached him during competition. I've only seen him and, like, talked to him into the paddock, after bowling, things like that. So I don't know how everyone else is. Oh, Jackson 100. What is the best solid bowling ball? Jackson. Let's break that down into three. The best solid symmetrical right now, probably, in my opinion, boy. Right now, probably the best solid symmetrical that I've thrown is the Power Torque. Yeah, probably the Power Torque. Knockout, I haven't had as much chance to throw. The Power Torque's been really good. Asymmetric, probably the Obsession Tour. Even though it's a benchmark, it's a lower flaring core, that cover stock core combination match up really nicely. It's something that you can drill pin down and have something really controlled as your benchmark ball, or you can still hook it. Like, it still has some chutzpah. But those two for currently. I know my Storm players from my national team, they all would probably tell me that the Phase 2 is one of the best solid balls out there, but it's a little older. And then all-time best solid bowling ball, I'm going to go with the Sapphire Zone, not because it was really good, but because I loved that ball. And I can have any opinion I want. Sorry I missed your question right away, but thank you for the question. Any more, just throw them out there. So it looks like TJ's just warming up. Teal Rhino. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you want a real answer from the Hooded Beast, yeah, that Teal Rhino Pro, like the original black rhino that everyone thinks was a solid was actually a pearl. There is a black rhino, but the one that everyone loves was actually a pearl. The Teal Rhino Pro was probably the biggest one. So yeah, Scoops, you're probably right. If you ask enough people, they'll probably say that Teal Rhino Pro was the best all-time solid. But everyone has your opinion. What do you think, Jackson? What's your favorite solid bowling ball? I'd like to hear what everybody's favorite solid bowling ball is right now. I know in my bag, I've got my Obsession Tour as my benchmark, my fresh out of the bag ball, with my Paragon solid as kind of a ball up, and a Track Tour Sick is the ball down. is for my burn. Those are my solids in my bag currently. And then the pearls in my bag, I've got my pearl urethanes, and then I've got a night prowler, and I replaced, oh, that's right, my 3D offset, duh, like the best new pearl in 2022. The burner. I've heard a lot of good things about the burner. I've seen a lot of the 900 Global and the Storms guys that I've talked to. They have said that a lot of the times that ball has bailed them out of a lot of problems. It's just been a ball they can go to and kind of just lean on. Favorite solid of all time, Roto Grip Pluto. Oh, I gotta look that up. I don't remember that one. Roto Grip Pluto. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, don't tell me 123 bowling ball isn't available. Let's see here. 2.61, so it was pretty cover heavy. Oh, yes, it had the flip block on the bottom and the top with that really big wide band around the middle. Yeah, that would definitely, differential of 018, yeah, so that would get down lane pretty well without burning up and have a fair amount of motion. At 2,000 surface, yeah, that would definitely, that would have some hook. Rhino Pro L5, oh nice. Radical Ludicrous, really helped me dig out, yep, absolutely. Well, Dodge Viper has a Paragon of his own coming. Very excited. I'm very excited to get it drilled up for him. As a speed dominant player, it is the kind of ball that he does very well with. Although he did throw the Pink Widow urethane last week and shot I think a 214 with it. So I really like, if you haven't seen the Sapphire Zone before, I really liked it. It was one of the last ones out there that had the dense nugget in the center. It had the bismuth graphite. Sorry, 217. My apologies, Vincent. It had the bismuth graphite nugget in the center that made it really center heavy. Sapphire Zone. Let me see. I think it was... yeah, trying to find information on those old ones. Sapphire Zone bowling ball. Come on, please load up. Darn you! It's so old. Yeah, I don't even know if we have the RG and stuff on it. That's funny. But I like the solid, not the pearl. Everybody always talks about the Sapphire Zone pearl, but the solid was the bomb for me. Like, I loved that ball. Came out in 1995. Good year. Power Coil 17 reactive cover stock. It was remade as the Parker Bone, the third MVP zone. So they've come back from commercial here, and they're just showing the Kia player points thing for the playoff. What else we got in here? I think the only solid I've had, that is the BTU and the... yes, the only solids I think you do have are the BTU and the Black Hammer. Do you like the big shim? I haven't gotten to throw it myself. Gonna bring up all the stats on it. One of the unfortunate parts of being in Canada is we don't get a lot of the third-party balls, some of the smaller companies. Like for us to buy the big bowling stuff, it's more expensive than anything. It's almost $400 a ball. Want to throw they all? Yep. Now the big shim's a 246040. That's oh yeah, that core shape. That's their benchmark. I have seen it thrown a lot. I know it's a good ball. Ooh. When Belmo's saying, oh boy, and he just let the ball go, that's a worry. Almost missed a 7-pin there. He made a move, looks like on the left lane to... he got rid of the UFO, which surprises me, and went to a Hustle Hybrid. Very odd, because the look that he had with the UFO was was amazing. Bullamon, gotta throw them all. Heck yeah. Yeah. You know, I have to say I've been lucky over the last decade or so. Myself, Scoops, Old Guy Wayne, the Big Hurt, Cameron Hurtubise, One Eye Jimmy. We've been lucky enough to throw probably 1,000 bowling balls. We've been very lucky. It looks like Tommy's throwing the best-selling ball of 2021, the Black Widow Ghost, on the right lane. I say that because it looks like it was white at one time, and it's got a big blue helix band around it. That ball is so pretty. Okay. Small defunct company, Monster Bowling. 900 Global made them. And they were bought Monster. I remember them. I remember I met the guy who was running the company at Nationals a couple of years ago. Just after I think the Loch Ness had come out. And he was telling me that a whole bunch of new stuff was going to be coming. And they were going to send me some stuff. And then they just disappeared. It's a shame. More bowling companies means more choices. More companies for everybody to buy. Oh, Tommy Jones opens with the 310 in the second frame. So, uh-oh. Sorry, Rob Stone's coming up with some kind of stupid fact. Ooh. Good shot by Belmont. Anyway, I don't know if you guys noticed. I would hope you have before. Tommy's bowlers to win Rookie of the Year and Play of the Year. Oh, that's interesting. Mike Albee, Chris Barnes, Tommy Jones, Jason Belmonte, and E.J. Tackett, the only bowlers to win Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year in their career. That's pretty cool. I used Visionary for a couple of years, made great stuff, just never caught on. They were fabble until selling. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Visionary. I would have really liked to have seen some of the Visionary stuff. Radical Phil made mention in the last live stream there could be using Loch Ness. Yeah, I could see it coming out. Using it again. It'll be long enough. Yeah. See right there, Jason threw. He hit the left lane there, and he changed out of that UFO, and now it's going through the nose. I don't like that ball change for him. Really don't. The UFO looked much better on that lane. Thank you for the follow, sir. Thank you. So Tommy Jones, if you've ever watched him put his hand in the ball, we're going to see it here in a second. He does it really unusually. And every once in a while I get a question from people like, why? Why would you ever do that? Why would you put your thumb in and then roll your hand around? Watch what he does here. When he brings it around, you can only get your fingers in so deep. So for him, it keeps him from digging his hand in too deep. It keeps his hand more relaxed. Whoa! Yeah, he was aiming for 6 and hit 3 and almost threw it in the channel. Yikes. Yeah, he just missed it wide. But it's supposed to keep him. It's supposed to keep his hand relaxed, keep him from digging his fingers in too deep. There are a few. We're seeing more and more players who are starting to do this. I've never found it comfortable for myself. I don't know what you guys think, but I have never found it comfortable to put my thumb in first and then try to turn it to get my thumb in, or put it in and then put my fingers in. It makes my hand feel weird. The hardest part for ball companies is certainly getting them into the pro shops. Absolutely. You look at Lane 1 for a while, used to sell direct to pro shops. There are a lot of the companies who are trying to do that, sell direct. California Bowling, they have their staff system where they get people to buy the balls and they can be on staff. Like people have to come up with innovative ways to get around the big 2 or the big 3 right now to get noticed if you want to be a new company. Wow. Yeah, you can see that they're struggling to get the ball to shape the way that they want. Tommy, you can see him, he's sitting there trying to get it. He's doing this. How to, get it down and then in. So on that lane, Belmont's throwing the hustle. I think it's the hybrid on that one. Looks like it. I really don't like him throwing that ball on the other one. The UFO looked much better. So how do you guys feel about the Spectre getting banned from being used? Swag is now certified. Yes, that's cool. I think it's great that they are finally certified. That will help them a lot, especially if Lavery Sparks makes a TV show. I think the banning is good. I think if the ball doesn't meet requirements, then it shouldn't be out there. Jason with a strike making me look bad because he flushed that one, but he did make a move on that as well. When 98.6% of your balls fail, and if you want to think about that math-wise, on 5,000 balls, that's 70 balls that passed. Obviously, something bad happened, and just like they did something with the purple hammer when they could identify where there was an issue. They making them rectify it. For the purple hammer, EBI is not around anymore, so Brunswick's offering. Yeah, he's having a. Sorry, I was just watching Tommy there. They're offering a trade-in rather than EBI because EBI doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure Storm is going to offer something. They'll probably. Good spare. They will probably offer to trade it into something else of equal value, or they might have a new ball coming that they'll just switch it into. Say, you know what, send us your information. What I would like to find out is what Storm is going to do for the pro shops. I remember when Motive had the issue, they were kind of cool about it. They sent out the balls and I said, hey, for every X balls you do, here's a free ball to cover your costs. The Jackal Carnage. So that was, Motive did something for us, the pro shop. I want to know what Storm's going to do. Is going to make pro shops lose money. Yeah, because these pro shops are going to have to either collect them and send them off or wait for these players to get them and then either get money back from Storm or have Storm give them something for doing this. They end up losing money otherwise. You're absolutely right. I think it's good that they pulled them off. Obviously, if 98.6 of them failed, that's not a good thing. That's a huge number. That's just a monstrous number. While we're on commercial here, I'm going to grab up questions from the internet. Some things that you guys have asked over the week. See if I can answer any more questions. Corbin, I've got an OG Katana, 400 plus games, easily if not 500. I've had a ball like that. Still rolls nice and hits hard for me. I just gotta get around it a tad more and when your ball starts to lose performance, you can change the surface on it. You can slow down, get around it a little bit more. There's lots of things you can do, so that's cool. Talking about effective hand positions from episode 12. Welcome to the internet where people just want to hate. Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of hate out there, but you know what? There's also a lot of love out there. You guys have given a lot of love, so I think it bothers you one bit. But remember, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink. Yep. My dad once told me something that I really took to heart. He said there are two kinds of people in the world: the people who you respect and whose opinions you respect, and then there are everybody else. And everybody is entitled to their opinion, but the opinion of those who you don't respect, you can just, hey, thank you very much, and when you're at the other, you don't give it a second thought. Only worry about the opinions of those who matter. What is it? What is the opinion of sheep to a lion? Something of that. Illmatic. Took me a few days to watch because it's filled with a ton of good info. Cheat sheet's great. They're going in my bag. It folds up really nice. It's actually wallet sized if you want to throw it in there. I keep mine in my bag. It's a really good thing to keep with you. But I have to question, I recently converted to no thumb, which has improved my rotation and shape. Glad to hear it. Can you talk about if league bowlers should play left of 20 consistently or shorten the angle? Another question is, can you explain how surface plays a role in changing hand positions? Okay. So everybody's heard the old saying, straighter is greater, right? Very few times does anybody really give it a good explanation. One of the reasons that they want that you should start straighter, one, you want to keep the ball in the pocket longer. You want to keep the friction to your right and the oil to your left. So you have hold to the inside and hook to the outside. What often happens in a house shot is if you have a lot of side rotation, you're forced inside early. You've got to get that ball into the oil longer so we can get to that friction and not overhook. So you're forced to play deeper inside. As that happens, if you start too early, you start to burn up that spot, you've got nowhere to go. You already get so deep, then you're loft in the gutters, blah, blah, blah. If you can start off with a weaker ball or a weaker hand position and play a little straighter, you can keep that friction in front of you, and rather than having to make, being inside and then having to loft the gutters, you can just inch in off of the friction that you're creating or revealing. Now, surface plays a lot. It plays a lot into where the ball is going to rev up, where it's going to start hooking on the lane. Hand positions can do the exact same thing. Depending on the hand position you're using, you're changing where the ball is going to roll, how quickly it's going to spin up. So you can use them in conjunction with each other to magnify the motion that you're looking for. Say you have no defined friction point, so you're using a stronger hand position. You're probably going to want more surface as well because you want the ball to pick up earlier. You're going to want the ball to roll so that it can get through the pins better, because we know if a ball doesn't get into a good roll, at least 5 pins before the 5 feet before the head pin, it's going to hydroplane through the pins and you're going to get a lot of deflection. So you should remember that your hand position and your surfaces can be used in conjunction with each other. But there isn't a specific, I need this surface in this hand position. You kind of have to match them up to the motion that you're looking for and the ball that you're throwing. You know, Tommy's got the black-white ghost in his hand right now. On this lane condition, you can see he's not going with a very strong wrist position early. He doesn't need the ball to roll up. He's got lots of hook down lane. His surface also reflects that he doesn't want the ball to roll up too early. It's got some shine to it. So they're using those in conjunction to dial in your ball reaction, but you don't necessarily have to use one. I've thrown a ball with 500 grit with a extended wrist because I needed the ball to get down lane, but I didn't want it to hook. Obviously, I can do that with, I mean, there's reasons you could do that, like if you don't have access to urethane in the last couple of years. There's times where I needed to throw a resin ball for a spare, you know? So you shouldn't just define your hand positions by your surfaces and your balls by your hand positions by your surfaces. You have to see how they're going to work together. See what else we have here. Mike, this channel is awesome. I'm 52 and just started bowling, and it gives me great information. Love Speed Dominant Wayne. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, Mike. I hope you enjoy all of the shows. We try to give out as much information as we can. You folks help Robert on the GB4. You folks helped me out by reviewing the Medusa. I'm a senior, what I categorize myself as a match player. Speed versus Rebs. Got to bowl, got that ball and really liked it. I'm glad. Now he's interested in the GB4. Sweet. It's a good ball. It's got a surprising amount of hook down lane for a ball that... It's a ball that hooks a lot without hooking a lot. Board-wise, it's not going to hook 40 boards, but it's very fast response down lane. So when it hooks, it's very, very sharp. Jason looks pretty locked in, which is scary for everybody else on the show. He has been just striking like a madman while I've been answering questions. My apologies. Ernest, for the drill room number 13. Where are the layouts for the Bigfoot and Speed? Both of those we did as our ball up, which is 55 by 5 by 35. I think we did the Bigfoot by 4.5. Oh, sorry, we did the Bigfoot differently. Oh, Jason just 2-8-10'd. Oh. That's right. Sorry, the Bigfoot that we laid out during that show, when I ended up looking at it, I just thought it was going to be a little bit too twitchy down lane, so I did change the layout a little bit. I went back to the 5-inch pin with a 30-degree valve, I think. I'll have to check in my bag. It's over there. Jason trying to convert the 2-8-10. Oh, he missed the 2, just took the 8. Lost count. And the Speed we did just as our straight 55 by 5 by 35. Thank you for watching. Speaking about athletes in bowling, it's going the way of the professional golfer. This is the big easy. Bowlers are getting bigger, stronger, faster, whether that's good or bad. PBA Tour. Yeah, the beer-bellied bowler on the PBA Tour is a dying breed. 100%. There is rumor. Oh, my God. Tommy. There is rumor that Marshall Kent is like some kind of monster and he can bench press like 400 pounds. Like just stupid strength. Just an insane strength. If we put more athletes out there, we'll be considered more of a sport. It leads more of us to getting into the Olympics. It also means that the best... Oh, almost got it too. The best athletes are performing out there. And you notice not all of them are two-handed either. I know I've talked about it a lot over the last 2 years through the pandemic. I started doing powerlifting. I started doing a conjugate raw training program I dropped 100 pounds. I raised my ball speed. I can take my ball speed's effective range is anywhere from about 14 mile an hour up to about 19 mile an hour now. Oh, TJ's lost. He's so lost. He's had 2 Brooklyn hits in this game. He just looks lost. So, yeah, you cannot go wrong. Getting stronger, getting fitter. You think about, you look at that ESPN sports thing they did with Sean Rash, where they measured all the forces on him. Now you think for every 4 pounds of body weight, how much that adds, to the pressure on your legs and your arm and everything. So being able to get stronger, lose weight, be in better shape, our bowlers are going to be able to create more power. And you think power comes from the legs. Oh boy. I learned that pretty quickly when I started powerlifting. Like I started doing a lot of deadlifts, a lot of squats, a lot of box squats, explosive jumping with bands and stuff, just to increase my drive going from my fourth step to my slide. And yeah, huge differences you can make in speed very quickly just by working out your legs. But yeah, so Belmo has definitely won this match versus Tommy Jones. This is not. I feel bad for Tommy. Let's see here. A lot of people asking specific equipment about. Somebody asked about Revolt Havoc and the Forza GT. Oh, there's Scotty Thompson with another message on there for us. Let's see, what other questions do we have here? As they're just Belmo's moved in, and it looks like he grabbed that UFO alert again and made that big jump that he did the last time, at the end of the last game. I'm wondering maybe if he's keeping it there as an emergency, just in case they if they get wackier down lane again. Because, I mean, there's been some really bad splits. I'm wondering if he's keeping that in his back pocket. Had quite a few questions this week. A lot of people asking for the email for the cheat sheet. So yeah, once again, if you want to email us at lanesidereviews@live.com, I could definitely send you that bowling cheat sheet. It's also up on our Facebook at lanesidereviews.com. I'm also going to post right now. I'm going to post the Arsenal sheet, our little Arsenal, whatchamacallit. Oh, my brain stopped working. Our Arsenal cheat sheet for our rev dominant, speed dominant match players, giving you ideas of layouts and equipment types, what you should be looking for each kind. Why don't we post that right now? Boop. Next, and this is our Arsenal building, Arsenal construction cheat, not chest sheet, cheat sheet. Wow, congratulations, Baldrick. You've managed to spell cheat without getting any of the letters right. All right, so I've just published that to our Facebook so that everyone can have a copy of that as well. Super Blitz, slightly off topic. I have taken some practice technique from bowling and applied them to axe throwing. That's cool. I'd love to hear more about that. That's very interesting. I know that I take a lot of, in my past lives, I've done a lot of things in my life. I am often called the Homer Simpson of my family or the world, or the Jack of many trades. I think I'm a nuclear power plant away from being a full Homer Simpson, that and an astronaut. And as we do things in our lives, everything leads to something else. We can take the things that we learn from different jobs and apply them in different places. A long time ago, I worked in the fitness industry. I don't know if you've ever heard of a magazine called Muscle Mag International. Robert Kennedy, he had a line of retail, and I ran the retail division for the entire company. And it gave me a love of fitness, even though I also love to eat. So when I got back to it, it's kind of funny getting back to working out and seeing the kind of elements that I use in my workouts that I've now, without realizing it, applied across to my bowling training. Example is teaching new players, no-step drills, and hand positions. That's super cool. That is really awesome, Super Blitz. That is awesome. I really enjoy axe throwing. I would say I'm good at it for somebody who's not good at it, because like I'm pretty good throwing it, and I can aim it pretty well. But then you watch guys who actually do it. I guess it's like watching bowlers in a league. Non-bowlers watching real bowlers. Watching some of those people who throw axes, man, you guys are serious. So that's pretty cool. I know I use a lot of my, I've been using a lot of my conjugate raw principles in my training on the lanes. One of the principles that they use that I really like is shocking the nervous system, which means you never repeat the same practice movement more than twice in a row. So say I'm going to work on spares today, I can work on spares tomorrow, and then I'm not allowed to work on spares for a while. I can do other things that help me work on my spares, but I can't physically work on it. So like I'll go in, today I'm going to work on launch angle. Tomorrow I'm going to work on shooting right side spares. The next day I might work on left side spares. The next day I might come in and work on speed control. Then I'll come back again and do launch angles. Well, launch angles helps you shoot spares. Shooting spares, you're using a lot of different launch angles. So they work together, but you're not training the exact same thing, so your nervous system doesn't get used to doing the same thing over and over and get you into an automatic mode. Sorry, I've got Randy Peterson screaming in my ear. So I do that with my bowling so that my body, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to do. I don't just get locked in and stop thinking about moves I need to make and what I'm seeing on the lanes. Would you look at this? Jason's back on the lanes, and he's made the move to that UFO alert. If I were Packy, I would be worried right now. Oh, never mind. That's a 710. He threw it good. It looked like it just got down lane like an extra 6 inches. Come on. Nope. No 710s. All right, let's go, Packy. So what's 8? What did I say about solids? Packy's got that power torque in his hand. I find I haven't gotten to throw the knockout as much as I've thrown the power torque. I find that the knockout has a little bit more motion down lane. It's a little sharper. So I like his idea here, throwing the power torque, giving himself something that's going to be smoother. What applies to both? Getting your feet in the right place, having the right equipment in your hand. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it was a little smooth. He might have to make a small move left. Oh, yeah, he's the only righty on the show here. This could be really good for him. He looked like he was a little light there. He might want to make like a 1-1, or he could have been a little bit of nerves if he didn't catch it all. But he might be like a little 1-1 left, just to get to finish on that lane, because we've said that lane is a little bit longer. I used to watch some of the championship matches on YouTube. The pins look so fake. Always been curious about Belmo's grip. Do a lot of two-handers use conventional fingers? You know what? It's very interesting. I have noticed that a lot of two-handers that I have worked with, good shot there by Packy, a lot of two-handers that I've worked with, they start using their fingertips or a buried finger, and one of the first things I try to do is get them to convert to conventional. One, it gives them a little bit more room to get their fingers into, because we're going to drill those fingers deeper to change the differential in the ball. Also, it puts less pressure on the upper knuckles. It puts it more towards the hand, so it's just a little easier on the hands. It also allows you to do a lot more forward pitch, so that you can increase the rev rate. And you can do a lot more with the performance fit to change where their rotation is. See, he's made that. I told you might have it in his pocket there, and Jason has moved far left and is going to swing it with that UFO alert. Like just the sound of the reactions they make. Yeah. Well, pins also sound different in an empty bowling center when no one else is bowling. Pins have a haunting sound to it. Do they use new pins for the show? New-ish. They try. I know they try never to use brand new pins, just because they don't carry as well. But they don't use older pins either. I mean, a lot of these places that we're seeing them compete at, they've brought in pins just for the tournament here, and they get broken in pretty quickly. They might have brought them out, say, in December for the leagues to throw on, and then the pros are getting them. So they might be 6 months old. You can see they've got a fair amount of use on them. But after 54 games with all those pros, everything's going to get some use. Oh yeah, I forgot Packy Hanrahan's like Packy the 4th, isn't he? Or Packy the 3rd? I have been to a tournament. Scoops has done it too. We've gone to tournaments where they've put out brand new pins for the tournament, and it is just awful. New pins haven't been broken in. They're heavy. They fall differently. They just... Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the new sound. They're just awful. New pins are awful. Yeah, I can remember throwing on a fresh rack and flushing the pocket and leaving a 7-9 right-handed. Like, they're just awful. Ooh. So Packy, it looks like Packy's struggling on that right lane. That right lane's being long for him as well. He just bucketed on the right lane. Is it right? No, I'm screwed up. I keep looking back and forth. So the left lane for him, he bucketed on. Very interesting. Score right now, Hanrahan's -3. So Belmo is up 4th frame by 3 pins right now. Spare the game! Sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. Arrgh. Oh my god. And where's a spare like Jason Sterner's? Like a 4-7-9-10. I want to see another one of those spared. I noticed that too, like Rob. And more clear sitting at the computer. Yeah, I got I invested in a $300 microphone for the computer here. When we go on the when I'm out doing the other stuff, I'm on my lav microphone, so it's a little bit of a different sound. I wish I could have one this clear on my lav. Rob, since you bowled on string pins with the OG Knockout, what did you think? What I think of the OG Knockout or what I think of string pins? The OG Knockout's amazing. That ball did not get its due because of the pandemic, and I'm really glad that the Knockout Black Blue has come out after it. String pins are a different animal. 100%, they are a different animal. I mean, you can see on that video. I think I posted a clip from that too. You hit the pocket and leave a 3-pin. Oh! Ham bone. Yeah, ham bone. String pins have a different kind of carry to them. Flushing the pocket can often be bad for you. Pocket 6-8 for hand. So in Canada, we have a game called 5-pin, and those are on strings. And we know from watching it that the best players try to get a lot of action on the pins. They try to hit them real thin and get the pins moving. In string pin, 10-pin, it's kind of a similar concept. I find that hammering the pocket, the more you hammer the pocket on string pins, the worse your carry gets. If you can get just a little bit light, you can just explode the rack. And because of those strings, you end up carrying things that the pins don't even get near, but because the strings are near them, they carry them off. Now, that is why USBC suggested that they come up with a uniform length for the strings so they can make sure that centers aren't making it too easy to score, because the longer the strings, the more you can create that dynamic action. Them in 5-pin, they're the worst nightmare. Knotted shoelace. Yeah. Also, yeah, when they get knotted up, they're terrible. I've talked to many league bowlers and have stated hard pass at center converts. Yes, I've heard that a lot. It is a much different game with string pin. The difference for houses, though, for the bowling centers, the difference in the amount of room they need behind their lanes. I really like string pins for recreational bowling. I think for competition bowling, though, it should be regular pins. I think that would be a really nice, clear delineation between recreational and sport bowling. Right there, that'd be another good place to have it. String pin versus non-string pin. And then, you know, regular patterns versus difficult patterns is another step. That's just me, personally. As a league, I probably wouldn't bowl in a string pin league. However, one of my friends, Chris, bowls in a string pin league and averages like 230. So it's really, I don't know, it'd be tough. If string pin was the only thing I had access to, I don't know if I could give up bowling. I love bowling too much. So I might actually end up bowling on string pins. But if I had a choice, I don't think there's really any kind of choice. Let's be honest. If you could bowl on strings or bowl on regular pins, everyone's bowling regular pins. Oh no! The Flying Lady's back. Poor Mario Lopez. And now people are knocking. I didn't see that last time. They were launching bears and golf balls at her. Good Lord. So we're into the Packy hand-to-hand match. Packy today went through Runk, who has a ridiculously awesome name, and Saunders, who beat Kroll. Matt Saunders. Matt Saunders has had a pretty good year this year. We've seen his name come up a couple of times. Packy's not looking really good right now. Last time I looked, he was down at least 30. The more you let Belmont settle in, the harder he is to beat. And I'm a Brunswick guy. I'm not going to say, I'm not, oh yeah, Jason, yeah. Jason's the best right now. He's bowling the best on the telecast. Yeah, he might win. More messages here. Let's see. Oh, somebody asked, Trey asked why we don't review Storm and Roto balls. This is one we get a lot. We do. We just never get them. We are lucky enough to receive equipment from every other brand. However, back in 2014, Storm let us know that they don't believe in ball reviews. And didn't really want to do anything with us to do reviews. So that's one of the things that we use our Patreon tips from and revenue from Twitch and stuff. Now that we've got our new setup, our new cameras, that money is going to be going towards buying equipment so that we can review it. Through the pandemic and before that, it wasn't feasible for us to bowl it. To buy it, because we had more important things that we wanted to do for you, the bowler. So this way, I mean, now that we've got things running, there's lots of stuff. I would love to get scoops and the guys on the lanes and look at the trend 2, the UFO alert. There's tons of stuff. The new coral venom we've talked about. I'd love to get that stuff in. Of course, that's from another company that we don't deal with. But we'd love to get, a little bit of everybody's stuff in and give a really good range. Let everybody see everyone's equipment. One of the things that we've always prided ourselves on is we treat everybody equally. Even though I'm on staff with Brunswick, we review everyone equally. We tell you what we see. And we give you those different styles so you can, even if you don't want to believe what we're saying, you can see with your eyes a style that's close to what you do, and you can see if that ball will match up to what you want. Now, as for Motive, we came to an agreement because they had a hard time shipping to us, so we couldn't get ball reviews done in a timely fashion for them. Unfortunately, that's the way things go. Belmo's up 46. We got a Yahtzee. Yeah, he's playing just a ridiculous angle right now. It looks like, I could be wrong, but it looks like he's around 6 to 7 degrees of entry angle with the UFO alert. He's now moved deep inside to around 26. Playing it out to between 7 and 5 with a ton of side rotation. Yep, 5.2. It's 28 to 5.2. Yeah, I told you he had that in his back pocket. He just kept it there. And this match is almost over. I feel for Packy. Wow. Changed his speed by 4 miles an hour. Talk about effective range. You want to be out on tour? You want to learn how to be a good tour bowler, professional bowler, tournament bowler. We talk about being able to change hand positions. You got to learn how to change speeds. Speed control, especially on longer patterns, is a must. And you look at Belmo, even though he's a two-hander, he changed during the game 4 mile an hour from shot to shot. That is good skill base. Learn how to be able to do that. Because if you can make your ball, if you can slow your ball speed down and repeat everything, you can increase the amount of motion you're seeing out of your ball. You become rev dominant. Think about it. Oh, they've got pictures of Packy officiating his sister Mandy's wedding. That's awesome. Interesting fact, I am also an ordained minister. I am ordained in the World Church as well as the Church of the Dude. So if you're ever in the U.S. and you need somebody to preside over your marriage, I can do that for you. This match, unfortunately, is pretty much over. Jason running at a 279 max, Packy at a 211 max. Yes, I am the Reverend Robert Johnson, Church of the Dude. Because, you know, man, it's just like a thing. Oh, that ball rolled out over the 8, and he left a 9 pin. I had one person, I'm not going to mention their name, they've been messaging me over the last little while looking for an Arsenal for Nationals. You know, when you look at Nationals, people going down there, the singles and doubles always hooks a ton. So I always like urethane or slower response equipment. You know, Obsession Tour would probably look really good there. Urethane's going to look really good there. And then having something that you can move to as the lane opens up. Something that's going to be weaker that you can kind of parallel in off of. And then for the team, you always want something that's going to hook. So something that's going to hook, but it's not going to be so uncontrollable that you can't get it to really shape for you consistently. I'm sorry, I was just getting messages for the Arsenal construction sheet. So one of the things that I like with that Arsenal construction sheet, if you look at that, that's got some options on there specifically for this kind of tournament. If you look at it, there's 5 balls plus a spare ball, so 6 balls for that Arsenal with a fresh ball up, light hook, burn, urethane, and a spare. You could pretty much, in theory, you could switch out your fresh and your ball up depending on which day you're on to accommodate for the amount of hook you're going to see. So, I really like looking at it that way. So, some early urethane or some slow response stuff is going to be very important. Let's see, what do we got down here? Maybe I'm a little outlier and don't consider The Big Lebowski a bowling movie. It's a movie with a bowling scene. You are correct. However, we don't have a lot of movies that are bowling movies. So I think it's just been adopted as a bowling movie. I know several bowling movies, but there are some that people never think of. Like, people think of The Dreamer. People think of The Big Lebowski, but nobody ever thinks of Michael J. Fox in Greed with Kirk Douglas. I think it was Kirk Douglas. And that movie was about bowling. I mean, it's about a bowler, and it begins and ends with bowling. Little known fact about that movie, Michael J. Fox actually bowls. Every scene that you see him throw, he actually bowled. He came in and worked with the guys at Brunswick, got some equipment drilled up, and actually threw all the shots. So there aren't a lot of bowling movies. Somebody has to do something about that. I had an idea for Netflix for a bowling show, but it's not as good as the one that Tom Smallwood's. Well, I can't say it's not as good because we haven't seen what they've done with it. But it's not as good as the concept of Tom Smallwood's, so hopefully that will be good. What bowling movies do we have? The Dreamer, Big Lebowski, Kingpin, King Ralph is considered a bowling movie because the amount of bowling in it. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but it's more of a documentary. What other bowling movies are there? I know I'm missing a really important one here, and it's driving me nuts. So shout it out in the comments. Alley Cat Strike. Nice. Nice. It's Elf Bowling, the movie! Sadly, that is actually a thing. I just want you to know that. Elf Bowling, the video game, has the movie as well. Grease 2. Mystery Men, of course! With the bowler. Oh, Belmo completely missed a spare, and if people gave him a hard time. All right, so we got Simo versus Belmont in the championship match. What other messages do we have in here? I get stuff all the time. But yeah, if you're looking for an arsenal for Nationals this year, absolutely. I would take a look at that Arsenal construction sheet. You know, think about your urethane's going to be very important. I would build it off that. I don't think you need a lot of equipment. It's going to be about execution. It's always about execution. You can't out bad bowl execution. You can't out bowl bad execution. Equipment's not going to make a difference. You throw it bad, it's going to be bad. Oh God, what other? This really bothers me. I have to look up what other bowling movies there are now. Bowling movies. Oh, there's one I know that I watched. It's an independent movie called Strike Something. It was on Netflix about a lady who owns a bowling alley. It's also the Jesus Rolls, the Big Lebowski sequel. Fun fact about Kingpin: during the tournament scene, Bill Murray makes all those strikes himself. Yeah, I heard that, and I don't doubt it. Bill Murray is good at everything. Bill Murray is just incredible. Top 10 bowling movies. The Dreamer, Kingpin, Strikes and Spare. It's a 9-minute movie. That's not a real one. Big Lebowski, Sorority Babes, and the Slime Ball Bowl-orama. Comedy horror from 1988. It takes place in a bowling center. That might be Alley Cat Strikes. Yep. Another horror one, Gutter Balls. The Ed Show. How did we forget about that? Oh my God, it like literally takes place in a bowling alley. That's why we keep Scoops around. He knows this stuff. Mystery Men. Bowling for Columbine is not a bowling movie. Rankers, best bowling movies. Some lady throwing a ball between her legs. Top 5. The Flintstones. Yeah, I guess, technically. Racing with the Moon. Sean Penn and Nicolas Cage. Two friends who work in a bowling alley. I think that, I guess if we're going with that, I guess wouldn't Buffalo 66 also be in there because they're in a bowling center there a lot? I don't know. None of these seem like real bowling movies other than like Kingpin and maybe the horror ones. We need a good bowling movie about bowling. Somebody get me the Netflix money. I'll write something. It can be heartwarming and sweet and star people we don't know or who have never bowled. We'll have lots of cameos by people and then have people in the show who we don't really care about. Sounds like a Netflix classic already. All right, coming back to the title match. Oh, they're showing a young Jason Belmonte. He was so young, he only had a slightly thick beard. Put it on Lifetime or Hallmark. I'm a mean old bowler, but I got a heart of gold, and I'm going to coach those kids to the state championship, and I'm going to learn to love again. At Christmas, so it can be on Hallmark Channel. Oh, it's good to see a bearded brethren. Oh, interesting. It looks like Anthony has moved in and he's going to throw a UFO in the same place that Belmont was, so we could see a little bit of traffic there. Squid bowling. Wait, is squid bowling a real thing? Oh, it is too. Yes, it is. I forgot. Yes. Squid Game bowling. Yep. Oh my. Oh, another commercial. Come on. So many commercials. At least it's not those testosterone ones. Do you suffer from low T? Are you Frank Thomas or Doug Flutie? Can you act in a stiff manner? Well, then you need low T stuff. Yeah, and your girlfriend will like it too. God's sakes. No, now we're getting Tommy John. At least it's not the... I remember watching the one broadcast on here, and it was... At one point, they had a commercial spot. So they had like 3.5 minutes. And they showed that low T commercial 4 times in 3 minutes. And I was just like... Seriously, guys. Like, seriously. Now, if it was Blue Chew, that would have been way better. For all my podcasting fans like 83 Weeks and Something to Wrestle With, Bruce Pritchard. They know all them good Blue Chew commercials. That's what bowling needs. Bowling needs to get sponsored by Keeps and Blue Chew, because they seem to sponsor everybody. All right, so we're going into the championship match. Uninterrupted. We're going against Simonson, who beat Tang, and Edval, who of course beat Butters. Butters is on a roll. Almost another show. I know he hasn't won anything, but he's having quite the year. He is, I mean, other than not being able to bowl on TV, he's bowling really well. He's just that one something, just close to winning. More questions. More questions. We get letters. Jim Parker. Rev Dominant. Somebody asked about using the collision. Jim here asked about what kind of layouts would be good for a speed dominant player with the new Deviate collision. So we're looking here. Based on his stats that he gave me, I told him he would be looking at one of 2 layouts, either 50 by 3.5 by 30 or 50 by 4.5 by 25. The reason we went with those, it just depended on the amount of tilt. He didn't have a good knowledge of what his tilt was, and we needed to figure out how quickly we wanted this ball to react for him. We wanted something that was going to be really sharp down lane for a speed dominant player. R.I.P. Simo's grenade. Oh, I know. Look at this awesome grenade pearl that I just bought for $900. I'm going to take it to the truck and spend $60 to get them to drill it. What do you mean it's illegal a week later? Yeah. He actually is throwing, like I said, I think he's going to be throwing the UFO. It looks like he's moving in and throwing the UFO in the same place that Simo was. So when we laid that ball out, the collision, based on when I laid it out, based on the information he gave me, he just couldn't give me his tilt. But that placed the mass bias beside the thumb about an 1.5 to 2 inches off of the thumb. Normally, for a speed dominant player, that's right around where we would have thrown that big old P4 hole to make it start up even sooner. But for him, I think that's about as strong as we wanted to go, because that gave him a chance to really play with the surface to get it to start up more. Here we go into the title match. They're showing Simo. Yes, Simonson's the youngest ever to win a major. He's the youngest ever to win 3 majors and missed being the youngest player to ever win a PBA title by 2 days to Norm Duke. He defeated Michael Tang 3-2 and Rasmus Edvall 3-0 in the round of 8. That is a kick-ass name, Rasmus Edvall. That's amazing. Yep, and it's definitely into the UFO. So both guys are going to be circling the lane, it looks like. Simo playing a little tighter on the left lane. He's playing 26-7, where Belmont was playing 28 out to about 5. So very close angles, very, very close. Wow. 38 years old. 38 years old, 14 major titles, 27. More than half of Belmont's titles are majors. That is just insane. So 29-6, so he's moved in a little bit. Still even. Any other questions out there? I love this interaction. Has been really fun. Anything you guys want to ask, feel free. Left side columns, are they represent oil patterns? Yes. Yes, so when you're looking at that, at the Arsenal Construction short, where the sheet where it says short, medium, long, those are pattern lengths. What? Hey, strike for Belmont. Either way, both of these guys are adding on to their Hall of Fame career numbers here. Boy, look at that. You know, it's something I've been watching a lot of this week, because we've been able to watch so much bowling. I want you to watch the back swings on the two-handed players here. Okay? No backswing is above their shoulder. And it got me thinking about that. Because, you know, myself, I have a very long backswing, and it tends to go above my head. Especially when I get out of timing, it gets very high above my head. Or I'll lift it above my head. And it's funny, if you think about it, two-handers have no backswing. All of their power is generated through their legs. And yet they're still throwing 19, 20 miles an hour. Why do any of us as one-handers worry about a high backswing? Why do any of us try to generate a high backswing? Is it a lack of training to know that all of our power comes from our legs? Or is it just because we can do it, or because we've seen people with higher backswings? Look at Kyle Sherman. Yesterday, he throws the ball 18, 19 mile an hour. His backswings come down this year, and his speed went up. I think that as one-handers, we look at two-handers and say, oh, you know, they take these principles and they do them a different way. I think we should actually be looking at some of these principles, these two-handed principles, and start looking at how we can apply them as one-handers. We can manipulate the ball better than most two-handers can, so we have that advantage. We can't create the rev rate that they can. That's their advantage. But the mechanics, I know a lot of people have seen, I have a bit of an unusual setup. When I set up with my arm above the ball. I'll get my hand on top of the ball like a two-hander. When I was working with two-handers, with during my silver class in Columbus at the castle with Ron Hatfield, I started thinking about, we talk about two-handers. They spread that weight out between the two hands, and they use it. That gets it all the way out in their swing, so they always have two hands on it. They're splitting that weight, and it comes down together. They're splitting that weight. And I started trying it as a one-hander because we always talk about getting the weight out there and using our other hand to take that, to spread that weight out and then dropping our arm. I know for me, it helped me get much more sensation-wise, like a feeling in my body, to let go because I had both hands crailing it like a two-hander. And it also creates that body position with your arm, your lead shoulder out in front, so you can create that nice T. I'm wondering, because you look. Oh, wow. 410 on a pocket hit, just a little high. Very bad break with the pin carry. Anyway, that's here nor there. That's just me thinking out loud. I think there is something there for one-handers to learn from two-handers as much as two-handers learn from one-handers. Where did everybody in my chat go? Eight spare open frames so far for Simo. Minus 35. Oh, there's a stat for you. No one has in the entire Scorpion event, nobody converted the 410. And now we've got a 2-4-8-10 for Simo. Is it just me, or has it felt like people have handed titles away this week? Like people have gotten up with the chance to bowl and have just bowled terribly. Bowlers who are incredibly, incredibly good. Mostly when they've been up against Jason. Like people just seem to be almost scared of his aura. Plus 46 going into the fifth frame. Ooh, almost channeled it though. 1, 2, 4, 5 looks like. I've seen a few women from Japan with insane high back swings. Yes! Those P-League girls. For those of you who haven't watched, you can watch them on YouTube. They're free. Look up P-League. Some of those girls are just amazing. Where are they out of? Hey, it's the Japanese only bowling. And what's that girl's? Oh, I'm trying to remember her name. Oh, I can't remember the girl's name. Oh, it drives me nuts. The one who, like, her arms come up together and go through. It's crazy. Bowled with a guy in the youth league. Dude was 100% pushing it above his head in his backswing. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Nick and I, when we bowled in a tournament called Strike Masters years ago, there was a guy named Mike Harris who was 6'9", and he had a backswing that went straight up. It was literally straight up and down, parallel with his body. And one day we went into an underground house, and he ended up, when he went for his upswing, he hit the scorer with the ball on the way up. Oh, and Belmont goes Brooklyn for a 5-pin. Oh, everybody get their hands up. It's a 5-pin. Belmont's buying. Dang it. He spared it. Makes you wonder if the difference between how bowling is learned. Yeah, absolutely. if you think about it, the science of bowling has changed a lot in the last 20 years. People have actually looked at it scientifically, not just anecdotally. And a lot of things that we thought in the past were true or not. But not every country has caught up with that, so there's a lot of different styles being taught out there. You think about just some of the styles that have developed in different countries, like the UFO, the super spinner UFO, where the guys throw 300 games with 12-pound balls. That came up because they didn't have a lot of oil. Different country, different style had to be figured out. I still can't remember that lady's name with the super high backswing. Active bowlers. Oh my God, they have catchphrases. Oh, I just fell down a well of active bowlers in the P League, and on here they list their catchphrases and stuff. Like one is kawaii footballer. Another one is passionate ponytail. Oh my goodness. Positive daughter from Nagasaki. Wonder girl of Nara. Real idol of the bowling world. There's some really awesome ones. Mikasaki. Oh, Mikasaki! She's the supermodel of the lanes. Good Lord. How did that? Just folds in the 7-10, why not? Look at that side rotation. He's at about 70 or more degrees of side rotation. How Japan markets their... Yes, Japan does a great job marketing their bowlers. They make it a real fun event. The PBA's kind of caught on to that with their stuff in Portland. They're starting to make it more fun. I wish it'd come around to the regular events to have a little bit more pomp and circumstance. Have some stuff going on outside, inside. Oh no, my battery! There I am. Ah. There's another girl who's on the Japanese tour who has like all the costumes and stuff. I wish I could remember what her name is. Iwami Ayano is the one who bowls in cosplay. I love to see more of that kind of stuff. I want to see some costumes. I want to see some WWE style promos. I want them to be out there and be like, "Well, you know something, Jason. You've been running all week, but you can't run anymore. I've got you in the championship match, brother. They say that you can't bring the mountain to Muhammad. Well, I'm bringing Muhammad to the mountain, and we're going to tear it down. We sold you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge." Yes, I wish we had the UBA up here in Canada. I've gotten to watch a couple of events, and they look like they have a blast. Wouldn't it be fun to see some UBA versus PBA events? Like, get some of that, some trash talking, and some, like, that's where you can be loud and abrasive. That'd be fun. Get PDW down there. Man, I want to see PDW on the UBA. Let him just uncensored. Jason looks like he's pretty much won this match. He's plus 44 going into the 9th frame. Pretty much he just has to stay upright. 28 to the 4 board. Oh, just using every board. Yep, that is it. Belmont wins the Scorpion Championship, his 28th career. And it's not even a major. What's up with that? Yeah, the World Series really has been about Jason Belmont. He has won a ton out here. Like, I think this has been where he's won his events that aren't majors. Belmont make 'em fly, that's right. Congratulations, Jason Belmonte. Very well bowled event. He got comfortable and he made some good moves. That move after the second game, really, really smart, the slow wheel. Boy, some motion from him too. You do not see that kind of emotion. The last couple of events from him, you see a lot of emotion from Jason. You can see how much this means to him. Oh yeah, that is his 3rd win this season. I guess he wants to be another player of the year. Good Lord. All right, so that is the end. That was the end of our watch-along today. That was insane. Jason Belmonte climbs the ladder, knocking off everybody, including the pins and the announcers. Then he climbed into the crowd, just started laying out elbows. So that was a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight on here. Just before we go, I know this isn't a wrestling podcast, but I just wanted to send my condolences and my thoughts and my prayers out to the friends and family of the original bad guy, Scott Hall, who passed away yesterday. Scott had a huge impact, not just on wrestling, but on just everybody who met him, who watched him. Not every wrestling fan will have the benefit of watching a Razor Ramon match or a Scott Hall match, but every wrestler who's come after him has benefited from what he brought. So it sucks, but our thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, to all our friends out there. Bowling and wrestling and magic, and those things seem to really overlap, those communities. So, yeah, Dead Palmers. Hey, yo. That's right. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. So, I think it's really awesome. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for, this is cool. If you guys like this, please, let me know. Go to Reddit. We have all the episodes. We're going to have chats up there. If there's something you want to see, go there, put it up. Things you like, things you didn't like. And, join us here on Wednesday at 8 when we'll talk about tomorrow's show, the winners and losers. We'll talk about new equipment, what we thought of the new stuff that we've drilled up. And we can talk some more technical stuff. We can talk some drills. We can talk whatever you want, because the drill room's about you. Just don't forget to follow us here on Twitch. Follow us, like, share, subscribe. Go to YouTube. Make sure that you share and subscribe. Once we get to 40%, we're going to start running some contests. Give away literally, I think we have 20 jerseys to give away. So we got a lot of stuff to give away. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and join us here next time. Until next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.